New developments in Donald Trump's hush money trial, and today testimony centered on checks to Michael Cohen from Donald Trump and who signed them. One of the accounts payable supervisors for the Trump organization says any check over $10,000 needed approval from Trump, Don Jr., or Eric. NBC News reports every payment installment sent to Cohen was $35,000. Trump was also held in contempt of court over violating a gag order, and he was ordered to pay $1,000. A judge fined former President Donald Trump for violating a gag order, which is often put in place to protect witnesses and jurors in a case. Now, the former president is accused of attacking a key witness in the trial on Truth Social. It's constitutional for a judge to decide what a defendant can and can't post. And our National Verify reporter, Case Decker, verifies.
President Trump has been fined $9,000 by a judge and declared to be in contempt of court in his New York criminal trial for covering up hush money payments to a porn star. The judge said Trump violated an order not to attack witnesses and other key participants in the trial. These orders are often called gag orders, and since they restrict what a person is allowed to say publicly, Verify viewer Richard asked us, do gag orders violate the First Amendment right to free speech? So let's verify. Our sources: Ken Paulson, director of the Free Speech Center at Middle Tennessee State University, the Supreme Court, and the Constitution. Let's start with the Constitution. The First Amendment guarantees the right to free speech, but the Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to a fair and speedy trial. And sometimes these two things can be at odds. For instance, in the 1950s, a murder trial in Cleveland became a media circus. Personal information about witnesses and jurors was widely publicized. The judge told the reporter he thought the defendant was guilty, and jurors were allowed to make phone calls during deliberations. The Supreme Court eventually overturned the conviction and found that the unfettered publicity resulted in an unfair trial. After that ruling, some judges began to clamp down on what could be publicly said about their trials, both by participants and the press. But that authority only goes so far. In the 70s, SCOTUS ruled it's almost always unconstitutional for a judge to tell the media what they can and can't publish. But the justices didn't restrict gag orders on trials participants, only on media covering them. So, do gag orders violate the First Amendment? The answer needs context. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. It depends on who is being gagged and why. And it's generally up to the judge to decide.
With gag orders, it's actually a compromise. So on one hand, the Sixth Amendment is protected, on the other, the First Amendment is protected. It's actually a pretty good balance.
In Trump's case, the judge has argued the gag order is necessary to prevent Trump from potentially intimidating witnesses and jurors. But gag orders can be appealed. Trump appealed a similar order in a different case, but his appeal was denied. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
All right, good information. Thanks, Casey. And if you want something verified, you can email us at verify@wkyc.com or text us at the number you see on your screen.